All right, hello everybody. I am Logan Alec. I am a CPA. It is Friday, April 10th, and here I am with my daily stimulus update. Now, I'm going to start this update by talking about the big news, the IRS portal for non-filers. I'm also going to discuss what you should do if you've already filed your 2018 and 2019 tax returns and your direct deposit information was not on them, because we have received guidance from the IRS about this. All right, I have a lot of other stuff for you in this video, and at the end I will talk about the Fed's $2.3 trillion in loans that they announced yesterday that may be of interest to all you small business owners out there. And as always, after every daily update, I stick around for an hour after the episode publishes to reply to comments, so please feel free to drop one below. But please do not ask anything that I already covered in the video, because I'm covering a lot today. All right, so first thing, that IRS portal. This morning, the IRS dropped its long-awaited portal for non-filers to submit their information to the IRS in order to receive an economic stimulus payment. Right before I filmed this stimulus update, I made a video explaining and walking you through that portal. Similar to the TurboTax portal that rolled out this past Saturday, and I made a walkthrough video of that as well, this IRS portal is simply filing a 2019 tax return for you. This portal is for non-filers, okay, those who are not required to file a tax return to communicate your information to the IRS. For more specifics, who this portal's for, how to use it, as well as a full walkthrough, please go watch the video I just made specifically on the IRS portal. All the information is in there. Now, what if you have already filed your 2018 and or 2019 tax return, but your direct deposit information was not on there? This means that either you did not receive a refund, or you received a refund, but you received a paper check refund, or your refund was deposited to an account other than where you want your stimulus money to go. In this case, the IRS has said that they are releasing a Get My Payment tool, and they have said that it should be available for use by April 17th. You can use this tool to provide your bank account information to the IRS so you can receive your payment more quickly rather than waiting for a paper check. Now, the IRS qualifies this, and they say that this feature will be unavailable if your stimulus payment has already been scheduled for delivery. That's all they're saying right now about that. In this Get My Payment tool, you can also see the status of your payment as well as the date your payment is scheduled to be deposited into your bank account or mailed to you. These are all the details they provide at this time. Obviously, this is a developing story, and I'll be sure to update you if anything changes. Next, let's talk about the fraud of the day. This doesn't necessarily have to do with the stimulus payments, but I wanted to bring this to your attention because I think it's important. The Federal Trade Commission said this week, and I'll put a link to this in the description, that some scammers are posing as organizations to help older and disabled Americans pick up groceries, prescriptions, and other supplies. The older disabled Americans give the supposed errand running service their money, and the scammer walks away with their money, never to return. Look, if this is you, please don't trust someone you don't know. I know not everybody has family around to help them out, but ask a trusted friend, a trusted neighbor. Please don't be too proud to ask for help right now. They'll be glad to go to the store for you and drop the groceries in front of your door so you don't have to make contact and all that, okay? You can also check out the Elder Care Locator, which is a public service of the United States Administration on Aging, which can connect you to services for older adults, and I'll put a link below, of course. All right, moving on to stimulus timing just real quick. So it's clear by now that stimulus payments are not arriving this week. Vice President Pence yesterday said late next week. The IRS officially said in an email to me and other tax professionals this morning that they will arrive next week for those who filed a 2018 and or 2019 tax return with direct deposit information on it. They also said that individuals who receive Social Security retirement or disability benefits, SSDI, or who receive railroad retirement benefits but did not file a tax return for 2019 or 2018 will automatically receive a payment in the near future. This all appears to be consistent with the stimulus timeline video I released on April 8th, based on statements by Secretary Mnuchin and Representative Dingell. Go check that out if you want the latest and greatest timeline. All right, that's all I'm going to say about stimulus timing right now. I've covered that in great detail earlier this week, so I'm not going to labor that point. Let's talk about unemployment for a second. So as most of you probably know, for those who file for unemployment with claim weeks March 29th through July 31st, the CARES Act provided for an additional federally funded $600 per week in unemployment benefits on top of the regular unemployment benefits they would get at any other time. I was thrilled to hear this week that many states like Alabama and Michigan and Massachusetts and more have rolled out this extra $600 per week on top of their state unemployment benefits, and many other states like California and Missouri and more are expected to roll this out next week. Considering that today is only the 2-week anniversary of the CARES Act passing, I have to say bravo to these state agencies for working out the kinks in their system to make this happen. Hey, if you're on unemployment and have received your extra $600 unemployment benefit, please comment below with your state and the date you first got your extra $600. I'm actually very curious about this. Now, before we move on from the topic of unemployment, I want to talk about the other unemployment-related component of the stimulus, which is the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, or PUA, and this is the part of the stimulus that extends unemployment benefits eligibility to self-employed workers, freelancers, independent contractors, and part-time workers, because of course typically these groups as non-employees do not qualify for unemployment, but the CARES Act is making them eligible due to the pandemic. Unfortunately, some states are moving a bit slower to roll this out. I don't have time to research every state, but I do look into the most populous ones. So for example, California said this week, the self-employed and those who are truly independent contractors should not yet file unemployment claims because California still hasn't established the program needed to channel the federal money to them. But on the other hand, New York appears to have opened the doors for the self-employed to apply now, but of course its unemployment website seems to crash on a regular basis due to the number of individuals filing a claim. All right, so next update, this one is brief. The IRS is no longer processing paper returns. It has been speculated, and yesterday the IRS confirmed that they are not currently able to process individual paper tax returns based on everything that's going on right now. So if you need to file your tax return quickly, you should e-file it, okay? And that goes in good times and bad, right? E-file generally gets processed a lot faster than paper filing. Another reminder, and this isn't really news, this has been the case since the CARES Act was signed, but adult dependents do not get a stimulus check right now, okay? I know a lot of you already know this, I've talked about this several times, but over and over, I'm seeing in the comments people telling me their life story, and they include the fact that they're claimed as a dependent on someone else's return, and then they ask me if they're eligible for a stimulus. The answer is no. I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you did, as long as someone else claims you as a dependent, you do not get a stimulus check under this original CARES Act that was signed 2 weeks ago. Of course, this could be different in future stimulus legislation. Now, the All Dependents Count Act was proposed by various senators. I made a video about that recently. I haven't heard any movement about it, but if there is movement on that, I will certainly include it in a stimulus update. Other stimulus news, just briefly, people are apparently donating part of their stimulus payments to undocumented immigrants. Did you hear about this? A group of teachers in San Francisco have pledged to donate part of their stimulus payments to undocumented immigrants who don't qualify for the CARES Act. I'm sure everybody has an opinion on undocumented immigrants, but this is their teachers' money and they can do whatever they want with it, right? And let me say, you should not feel any obligation whatsoever to donate any portion of your stimulus check, okay? I know for most of you, you need every penny of it, so I'm not talking to you here, right? But if you're in that 0.01% that doesn't really need an extra $1,200 or $2,400 right now, consider looking around you, okay? Not necessarily just at undocumented immigrants, that's not my point. Just look to see who's in need around you in your circles and consider them helping them out during this difficult season. This could be a family member, it could be a friend. Let's help each other right now, okay? People are extremely frightened right now and for good reason. Now, let's talk about the Fed's $2.3 trillion in loans to support local businesses and governments. So what did the Federal Reserve do and say yesterday? They announced their plans to provide $2.3 trillion in loans to support businesses and state and local governments. So let's break down this $2.3 trillion. $600 billion for the Main Street Loan Program. This is aimed at businesses that may be too large to qualify for the SBA Paycheck Protection Program loans. By the way, if you're an independent contractor or self-employed, you are now eligible to apply for a PPP loan as of today, April 10th, and you better hurry. That program is running out of money. Now, Republicans wanted an additional $250 billion infusion. Didn't happen yesterday in the Senate. That was blocked, but I know at some point they're going to pump more money into PPP, right? And the beauty of these PPP loans for the borrower is that they are forgivable in part or in whole depending on what you use the cash for. And the Fed said, by the way, they're going to bolster the effectiveness of the PPP by providing term financing to PPP lenders. Now, these other loans, these Main Street loans, Main Street Loan Program, these are not forgivable loans, unlike the PPP, right? You'll have to pay these Main Street loans back, but nevertheless, they are sorely needed by struggling small businesses. So, well, small is subjective here, because these are 4-year term loans for businesses up to 10,000 employees. It's obviously way bigger than the SBA threshold of 500 employees, right? SBA is more true small business, mom and pop. These Main Street Loan Programs, these are companies up to 10,000 employees. Much larger companies are eligible for this. Loan amounts from $1 million to $25 million, payments deferred for 1 year. The loans will be dispersed through eligible banks, but the Fed is going to buy 95% of these loans, leaving banks with only 5%. Also part of the Fed's $2.3 trillion announcement is $500 billion in loans to state and local government and $850 billion to extend credit lines for household and businesses. There's some other stuff in there as well. Of course, I'm keeping an eye on this. As this move by the Fed develops, I'll be sure to include it in a future stimulus update video. Now, I usually keep this Fed stuff, the business stuff, at the end of these updates because I know that the majority of you are not business owners, but for those who are, okay, I want to talk to you too. For those who want to be informed about what's going on in the world of small business, I want to make sure to include it, and I will include information pertaining to small business. It will just be at the end of these videos, all right? Speaking of small business, have any of you business owners actually gotten your up to $10,000 EIDL grant? I have not. If you have, be sure to comment below that you got it, say how much you got, when you applied, and how many employees you have. All right, I think that's it. I'm going to stop it here. Don't want these to get too long, but be sure to like this video for the YouTube algorithm so we can stop the spread of stimulus misinformation. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. Check out that IRS stimulus portal video I dropped this morning. Of course, if anything else big happens today, I will drop a video, but otherwise I will see you tomorrow with my next stimulus update. Yes, I'm dropping stimulus updates 7 days a week. Obviously might be slower news days over the weekend, but we'll see. All right, I'll see you later, everybody.